Now, church, if you'll go ahead and say that racism is expensive, turn to your neighbor on the left and say racism is expensive. Turn to your neighbor on the right and say, because karma never misses. Now you don't know when and where she gonna strike, but baby, when she do, it's up. Okay. Go ahead and take out your book of Fuck Around and Find Out. You know, the one where karma never misses. Ever. Yeah. And we're gonna go ahead and turn to the book of We Told Y'all. Chapter 24, verse 7. Now, I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to what's going on in Texas with this little gerrymander situation, but it has got them little people all up in arms now because they were sitting there trying to strike against black and brown people, not realizing that they were also going to pop themselves in the process. Because just as you were trying to stretch thin these districts that had black and brown people and try to make them, pop into, non existence, you were also stretching thin your own districts. Now, here's the thing now, y'all. I know a lot of y'all were upset because of, Jasmine's district being so far gone that, her own house wasn't in it. Do remember, they don't have to live in that district to still run as long as you're in the state. Okay, because I think a lot of y'all kind of got upset and didn't understand that part. But yes, is it messed up? Absolutely. Because, most people do want to represent the district of which they live in because that gives you more of a familiar response. However, my Texas vote, we're going to need you to make sure that all your elderly people are registered and ready to go. We need for you to make sure all your young people are registered and ready to go. Because if anything, when you look at trends like this, you also have to understand that previous elections kind of provide a good guidance on, or a glance as to what can actually happen. Now, a lot of people are upset, and yes, this was a hard blow to have this done. Now, is this something that is illegal? A lot of people were questioning that. Do understand that this happens every 10 or so years, but they had just already had this done. So the fact that they went back and did this, that's a whole nother situation. That's why everybody was upset. This is why we had a whole black woman being treated like a damn slave out here, because why was she being held hostage? And you can say whatever you want to, but the fact that you had these grown ass people basically raising their hand to go to the bathroom because they needed permission slips and guards and what have you, and people mad that you can't keep up with a person taking a daily walk. I think that says more about you and not being prepared for your position than anything else. But I digress. Now, if you look at the former situation when O'Rourke was down there running gain, that kind of just gives you a little bit of a, what can absolutely happen here. Now, here's the thing. Is this impossible? Absolutely not. Now, is this doable? Yes. Now, we're not going to say that Democrats are going to come through with a full sweep. It would be great if they did, because we do see that blue wall coming. However, we're expecting anywhere from, 1 to 3 seats. With the fact that you have Newsom over there doing what he's doing, and then you have other states set up to follow. And do understand that with these other states, they kind of have to follow in the same lines of what Gavin is doing, is what is putting it in the hands of the people and having a special election to have that happen. They are not doing what Hot Wheels crew has done over here and force it down people's throats and what have you. But the fact of the matter is, this is causing the Republicans to crash out a little bit, because they're just like, oh shit, now we done followed behind this man that's been touching shit like a damn unchecked toddler with a pixie stick. Um, we might have gotten ourselves in a little bit of pickle, because let's say that blue wall does come through and they get anywhere from 1 to 4 seats. That is going to show them that, people are not playing. Because here's what, like I said, if you look at the previous trends and you look at what's happening now, and the fact that he is ramping up this situation with these frozen water people. Yeah, people ain't happy about that. And the fact that he is continuously ramping this up, because remember, he got, all of the popularity that he got because of the Latino vote. Now, are the Latinos pissed off enough to help the Republicans secure these seats? Because they're absolutely going to need those seats, which is why they went for the Queer and the Gonzalez districts, because they are banking on Latinos, still trying to have that siding with the man who glues down his hair and say that, this is what they want. Texas, if there was ever a time of any to make sure that your elderly population and your young population are registered to vote, this would be the time, and the time is to start now. Because there are other states again that are going to follow behind Gavin as well, but you cannot rely on these other states to save the situation. So, as y'all always know, I say America's not a real place, and if y'all don't get in there and vote responsibly, because voting has consequences, as we here now see. And stop expecting black women to come save y'all asses. I swear for God.